Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be previewing the final DLC pack for WWE 2K22 as the whole damn pack is set to release on Tuesday, July 19th. As part of the preview, we have a brand new entrance video for Rob Van Dam, along with a full list of content that's included in the pack, which attires we can expect to see, and we'll also be covering some changes the characters have gone through as the initial plans for some of the characters appear to have changed. So there's quite a lot to get through, but before we get into that, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news on WWE 2K22, then please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. So let's start things out with a preview of the final DLC pack for WWE 2K22, as the whole damn pack containing the final DLC characters is set to release on Tuesday, July 19th. Taking a look at the contents that's included in the pack, you can see that this pack is the biggest one yet, as this pack contains a total of 7 new superstars, which is 1 more than the previous pack and 3 more than the stand backpack. Running through the stars that are included, we have Rob Van Dam, Logan Paul, Machine Gun Kelly, LA Knight, Xia Li, Commander Azeez and Sarray. So this should prove to be a very popular pack, as alongside the returning RVD, we have 6 brand new superstars joining the roster that have never appeared in a WWE game, with a celebrity edition of Logan Paul really standing out, as his inclusion comes just weeks after signing with WWE. So that's the stars who are included in the pack, but what about the attires? Well, starting out with RVD, thanks to a new post from the official WWE Games account, we now know that we'll be getting a version of Rob that appears to be based on his return to WWE in 2013, as the official WWE Games account shared this new footage showing off his official entrance. So I'm going to let this play out, then at the end of it there's a few things that I do want to point out about this entrance, so we'll go over them, the other DLC stars, and which attires we can expect to see. So that's RVD's official entrance in WWE 2K22, with this footage confirming a brand new model for Rob, along with a new attire, though the attire itself is something that I want to talk about, as you may notice that it looks pretty bland for one of Rob's outfits, with a lot of people wondering when this attire is actually from. So to answer that question, the reason people are struggling to recognise this singlet is that it's a custom attire that's been created for the game, as this singlet is based on this design that Rob wore for his return to WWE in 2013, though due to copyright, 2K appear to have created their own similar version of the attire minus the dragon and the RVD text. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time that I've ever known the devs to create a custom attire for Rob, though it's not too surprising given the current ongoing issues with copyrighted images that appear in WWE Games, as 2K is still embroiled in a tattoo lawsuit over the recreation of Randy Orton's tattoos, which is currently set to go to trial in September. One of the reasons that I was able to pick up on the singlet being this design was thanks to several posts on the WWE Games Reddit page, as Reddit user John is One of a Kind has shared the latest render images that were added to the game in the most recent patch update, where it was revealed that a lot of the renders have been updated when compared with the ones that were already in place, as a previous post from the user MentalPlant5879, who shared screenshots that were taken by Twitter user NovaHillFemale, appear to show that some of the DLC renders have now been updated. Taking a look at the renders that were used for RVD, his selection screen render originally featured the red attire that he wore when he was the WWE and ECW champion in 2005, though that was recently changed in patch 1.14 when the developers updated RVD's render to feature this multicoloured singlet that he wore during his run in 2013, with this singlet being the same one they've created a custom version of in this new footage. Alongside the renders, these Reddit posts also reveal the overall ratings for the DLC, with Rob's rating revealed to be a high 92, which would tend to fit more with the era that the previous render was based on, as 92 puts Rob level with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with only Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns and The Undertaker featuring a higher rating. So that's Rob's attire and his overall rating, but what about the other stars that are featured in the DLC? Well, if we use the same method of taking a look at the renders that were posted on the Reddit page, this should also give us an idea of the attires that we can expect for the other stars. So starting out with Logan Paul, his render was recently added to the game in the last patch update, with the render showing Logan in the yellow attire that he wore at WrestleMania, so I would imagine that this is the attire we'll see in game. As for his rating, he's rated 80, which is similar to what a lot of the DLC has been, with this also being the same rating that's been given to Machine Gun Kelly. As switching over to his preview, you'll see that he too is also set to 80 despite never having a match. As for Machine Gun's attire, it's likely that we'll see him wear the pink outfit that he wore in the trailer, as this is the same outfit that's used in the render. Moving on to LA Knight, his rating is actually just 1 point higher than Logan Paul and Machine Gun Kelly, as his rating comes in at 81, with LA Knight's render showing him wearing the red Defined jacket that he wore in NXT, so it's likely that we'll see him wear his red NXT trunks. Up next, let's talk Xia Li, as she appears to be another character that has undergone some changes, as originally her render showed her with the red and black attire that she wore in NXT, though that was recently changed in the latest patch update, as the render now shows her wearing the green attire from her SmackDown debut. Based off this, it appears that the original plan for Xia Li was to include her NXT persona from the time she was part of the Tian Sha stable, as modders within the community also found a character listing for fellow member Boa, who had speculated was planned to be included as her manager, though those plans were likely scrapped once Xia was drafted to SmackDown. So it appears that we'll now be getting the SmackDown version of Xia Li in the DLC, with her overall rating currently set at 81. Moving on, we have Commander Azeez, who is another star whose render has been updated, as the original render for Azeez showed him in full uniform, before the render was recently updated to show him in white pants with a slightly different jacket. As for his rating, at 77, Azeez is actually the lowest rated star to be featured in this DLC pack, which is pretty surprising given it also contains MGK. Last up, we have our final DLC character, Sarray, who is someone else that's undergone a render change, as her original render was based on her NXT debut in 2020, though the more recent render that was included in the last patch update actually shows her sporting a much more up-to-date attire with her hair dyed. As for Sarray's rating, despite the update, her rating has actually stayed the same, with Sarray rated 80 overall. So that's a preview of the new characters that are featured in the whole damn pack and the attires that we could see, though it's important to note that the attires have not been confirmed by 2K and that they could still update the renders to reflect different attires as part of the DLC update, but based off what we've seen in previous packs, the render images do tend to line up with the outfits that we see in game. So that's a rundown of the upcoming DLC ahead of its release on Tuesday, but do keep an eye on the channel in the meantime, as I'll have daily coverage of all the new entrance videos as they're released, along with full coverage of the DLC itself on Tuesday, so if you're not already, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on that. Until next time though, thank you so much for watching this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.